Hey everybody, I'm going to try to make these speak a little bit more succinctly and try to talk a little bit louder because some have told me that this microphone ain't exactly the cat's meow. In other words, it's not the best, but you know what, I just work with what I have. Um, I thought I would just do some splatter talk today, meaning that I just talk about anything that I see in my vision of what's around me, letting the world form around me. Because I've been talking about Tao, Tao, DAO is how it's pronounced, but it's actually spelled Tao, Tao, or Tao. Um, so I like to splatter talk because, let's put it this way, like splatter vision, you see things in a 360 degree, when you do that exercise that I taught about seeing your fingers out to your side but still looking straight ahead and seeing that 360-degree pattern. You have to kind of see that. You have to talk like that. You have to be that in life, because that's what lets the Tao, or the 10,000 things that arise from nothing or nothingness, manifest around us, and we look at them just for what they are in a pattern type thing, in a splatter vision. And so when we talk, we have to be able to talk on anything and nothing. Um, so I'll start off by saying that I'll grab something out of the universe and talk about it. Now, one of the things that I was thinking about is how people get caught up in this illusion so much and don't realize that the illusion is constantly springing forth things, the 10,000 things, the Tao, the yin and the yang. But seeing beyond that, seeing beyond the yin, seeing beyond divisions, okay, of like this is right and that's wrong, or this is black and that's white, is hard for most people because they don't realize that this essence, this divine flowing of reverential energy, which some call God, is flowing all the time and is creating all the time. And so they get caught up and they get a focus. See, like in splatter vision, you don't focus, you just let your vision kind of expand out to encompass everything, every movement, every feeling. You attach it to your other senses. People get into a focus. They don't see the whole picture, the whole big picture. They don't feel the whole big picture. They get into a focus. They get into a mindset of where they're just focusing on one thing. And this is because of conditioning. This is because of conditioning, or how they were brought up to focus on one thing, or to name one thing that can't be named, really. Like, let's say, their concept of God. I'm finding that most people have really substituted whatever their concept of God was. They have substituted the government, okay, and the rulers, okay, the rulers of the nations on earth and the governmental systems, they have substituted, or they have made that their God. Because all the things that they claim that they attribute to God, as far as protection, taking care of them, giving reverence to, obeying, all of those type of things that they associate with God, are what they give to the government, okay? They give those same things to the government. They revere the government. They do anything the government or rulers say, even if the rulers are wrong. Or let's say even if the rulers, we won't even say wrong, we'll just say, what if the rulers are not benefiting mankind? Benefiting, having reverence for. So they lose sight of, they make their deity the things around them. They claim that they have a God in heaven that they believe in, but yet they revere the things around them, the material things around them, more than they do this supposed God in heaven. That's why that whole concept about God in heaven is bogus. It isn't that at all. It's all around us all the time. We are all in the Tao. We are all in the way, meaning the way, the path. We are all, if we grasp it. If we don't grasp it, we're not in it. It can be all around us. We can be the blind leading the blind. We can be blind to everything that really is meaningful, really counts, you know. That energy, that feeling of connection with a special person. All people are special, but sometimes you meet somebody that's really special to you because they're on the same wavelength. But I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that people get so caught up in religion and philosophies and ideologies and dogmatic belief systems as their gods. Actually, it's a bunch of gods. It's a pantheon of gods that they give obeisance to that does nothing for them. It does nothing for them. Now, what you want to do is you want to give your energy and your thoughts and your actions, you want to keep them in balance and in accord with the rising of the Tao, or the rising of the natural order of things, or the rising of true oneness, okay, which is actually beyond anything they could imagine. But it's not needed. Imagination it's feeling that's needed, feeling that oneness. And then once you feel that oneness, it's not beyond your imagination anymore. It's right there. So when people get caught up in a nation as a god, or an ideology as a god, or a patriotism as a god, or religion as a god, or religion associated with a god, they lose it. They lose everything that is real. They lose everything that really means anything. And that is the interplay and the interconnection of all living things, the spirit that moves in all things, and our connection to that spirit, and that spirit's connection to everything that walks this planet. And connecting to our fellow man, which is in reality us. We're all one. The Lakota say, we are all one, all my relations. And they believe it. Most tribes have reverence for everything, including animals and their fellow man and woman. We're all one, and we can all connect on an energy level. We can all heal each other on energy levels. We can send healing energy, and it works. We can send group healing energy, and it works. We can send love and compassion. See, the thing is that if you make nations your God, or you make nations, or even the let's say the fabrications of nations, I mean, what they fabricate to keep people on edge or entertained or in fear or whatever they do, if you make that your God and you buy into that every day, and that's your daily, let's say, ritual, or let's say food, okay? When you take that kind of food into your body or into your being or into your energy realm, you become that. You become what you hate. You become... You have to see that. You have to realize that distinctions are a problem. They're a problem because the minute you start making distinctions like they want you to do, you know, with their thought of good and evil and terrorists, bad guys and good guys, and just the divisions, distinctions. The minute you get into distinctions, you've lost it. You have to go beyond distinctions. You have to get into what I call a universal meditation, okay? The real key to living is being in a meditative state while you're awake, while you're walking around, while you're doing everyday things. Being in that meditative state or reflective state, or being in that state of total awareness of what's really going on around us, which is this evolution and spewing out of the 10,000 things from the center of this yin-yang ball that's spinning around and sending out all this chaotic energy, some of it intense, some of it not so intense. You have to go beyond the duality, because the duality is what is used in this realm to mislead man. The people in power, the rulers, use duality. In other words, this is wrong and this is right. Okay. And this is evil and this is good, and this is moral and this is immoral, and all of these things they use to manipulate people, to garner their attention, to get their attention focused on a certain thing, when in reality you have to look beyond divisions of right and wrong, good and evil. This is bad, that's bad, this is wrong, that's right. And this is a permeation that has started in us, or planted in us as a seed when we were little children, that we have to look at the world through a certain set of glasses, or tinted glasses. We have to look at it the way we were indoctrinated. And we were all indoctrinated in this duality thought from our parents and religions and, you know, social institutions. So is it hard to break free from that thought? Well, of course. I mean, if you make it hard. But every minute that you walk around and look at another person and say, that's me, that's not them, that's me too, then the easier it is you're going to be able to hook up. Or let's say you have a certain amount of knowledge or wisdom and you want to pass that on to somebody else. You don't have to wait for a special person. One might just appear out of nowhere. And then you can pass that information on to them, or you can convey to them this this feeling that I'm talking about today. You cannot be afraid to shatter people's illusions. That's what's going to help them, is by shattering the illusions that they walk around in everyday life. Saying a kind word to them, being different than most people that are just a hustle bustle. It's a hustle bustle world, people. It's a dog eat dog world out there. If you get involved in all these little games and machinations and hustles and lies and all of these things that surround us, you got to bypass it. It's the only way you're going to enjoy life, is to bypass the mundane. Much ado about nothing is what I'd say it is. It's much ado about nothing, usually. Because if you watch like news cycles, it's not news, it's olds, okay? News means something different every day, and it brings about a change that is perceptible. But the olds, or the reflection on the news nowadays, is it's the same story, only with a little bit different twist, a little bit different, more intensity or less intensity. And it seems to go on and on and on and on and on in this repetitive tape loop that gets nowhere, gets in nobody anywhere. It doesn't get anybody anywhere. It doesn't serve you to get caught up in the tape loop of distraction. The tape loop of distraction, when you could really be devoting your time to spiritual practices and being in that meditative state of mind all the time. All the time, not just when you sit down to meditate. Yes, that's a guide. I can teach some awesome meditations, that help us center and ground. Grounding is the most important thing. If you can't ground like a martial artist does and lower your center of gravity and bend your knees and, envision roots projecting from the bottom of your feet into Mother Earth and sucking up that yin energy and just kind of hunkering down a little bit and feeling it flow up through you. And connecting to Grandfather and opening the top of your head, your crown chakra, your energy center, and letting that energy flow down through you, and the yin energy flow up through you, and the yin and yang balancing you out. All day, not just in meditation, all day. When you lose sight of that, it's like you lose sight of your mantra of life. The mantra of life. You get embroiled in useless thought, energy depleting thought. So when you look at things, I'm not saying don't look at news or don't look at this, but you have to look at it with a certain mindset. And that mindset is, oh, there it is. It really doesn't mean anything, but I look at it. I'll look at it. I'll look at the little kabuki dance of life, the little puppet dance of life, and see what they're doing now. But to get caught up in it and to take sides and to be combative and to be, that is not the Taoist way. That is not the natural way. Okay, the natural order of things is to be mellow about everything. I mean, from A to Z, from everything you do in your life, including exercise or meditation or sex or whatever it is, it's about oneness. It's about oneness. It's about connecting on energy levels. It's about rising above this, not being, not being of the world, not being formed from the world, but letting the world form around you, of the world but not in it, which is a Sufi saying. All these profound sayings mean something. They go together. In the world but not of it. My kingdom is no part of this world. Be as a little child. Practice the Tao and let the world form around you. Let the Tao rise. All of these things are profound sayings, shamanistic, if you will, or holy sayings. In Lakota, holy means is Wakan. So you have to be a holy man, a holy person, a holy woman, holy. Whole meaning whole, encompassing all. The minute you get caught up in un momento, I dropped this earlier, so I guess it's having little effects. The lights go on and off in this hotel room automatically. So now Thunder has a shade of yin about him. Anyway, usually when that happens, it's like, it tells me that's like being in touch with the whole being thing. Being in touch with all your surrounding. It's like, okay, maybe you've given them enough for today. Chew on that a while. Thunder's talking in splatter talk here, which is just letting spirit flow through me. Think about the things I said today. And the people in the Campfire Council, which if you don't know about, the links are below. Check it out. But I talk to them too because we're a kindred community here. And I just want to say that there's been a lot of good talk lately and a lot of support and a lot of loving commentary on the site. Even though we remain just basically about the same number of people, maybe it's good not to have a lot of people unless they understand where we're coming from, which is evident on the site itself. You go there, you'll see the precepts of kindred bonding and banding together and being supportive of one another and having a oneness. Anyway, I'll leave it there today. Walk the red road. Much reverence for you all. Till I see you next time, this is Thunder.